honest with you, in Pakistan, we're just getting this business to get the E-2 visa and have the freedom of doing the work. Initially, we just want to start our own business and do the thing. It's just like they buy.
You can become a slave of some small convenience store, and then you won't be able to renew it because it doesn't make much money and you don't have many employees. So I would highly recommend doing like something else, like a more serious service type business. Tell me about your background. And would you just be working in the business or?
So my dad initially is interested to just have like our own business for the E2. So my dad is
Okay.
like we have a business of dental and surgical instruments. So we have
Okay.
a manufacturing unit in Pakistan.
Do you export to the US?
Yeah, we are doing right now to the Mexico, Brazil, and Germany. And now, like,
Okay.
we started doing in Canada, but you know how the Canada market is. So we initially thought, like, let's just move to the US because we don't have
Yeah.
much market. So let's step in there and work over there.
How big's this company? How many employees?
In Mexico, it's like 50 or more than 50.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like in
Nice.
Mexico for like 30, 35 years, mashallah. He
Very
initially
cool.
wanted to start his business in Miami, and he's like giving me an option that if you want to do the E2, just just get the a warehouse. We'll get a big huge warehouse in Miami. But then I wanted something different. Like, to be very honest, I wanted to have like a side investment for the E2. So, when I moved to the Miami, I know that there's already a business that I can do, like, as a side investment. And whatever my dad's plan is, I can go there and then I can start for myself because I was like, this is much better option.
So you basically want an anchor business that you don't have to work too many hours in to secure the E2 visa?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Basically like a side investment.
Have you worked for your father's business much?
Yeah, I did. Like,
Okay.
I know the stuff and the things. But for now, I'm just looking for a business that has like a good. It's not like a huge investment, but it has like a good
Sure.
cash flow, and it's like a side investment that you get money because my father's business, it's gonna take time for it to develop.
Definitely. It's tough. What you're looking for is very difficult to find because there's so much capital in the U.S. So really smart, hardworking people they're not looking for like equity investment and like to give out like big cash dividends. They'll give like returns if they sell the business essentially. So yeah, I mean we have options, but the returns are pretty low. If you invest say 250K, maybe you're making 25K from the business and you're not working too many hours in it, it could be quite limited. The first 18 months, could you put in like 20, 30 hours a week and then scale down as the business really picks up?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's not a problem.
Okay.
We are okay with franchise because I know it's a good option. It's already in market. The marketing is high, and you don't have to do a lot of marketing. The customers are like everywhere, right?
You don't have to focus on product development, vendors, all that.
And there are already like customers there. So what do you suggest? Like, in case if you want a franchise, what do you suggest?
Yeah, I would look at an option that there's a territory available in Miami, and there's the availability for you to not be working day to day in the business after some time. We do have options that, could require 10 to 40 hours a week of work, depending on the week, depending on the opportunity. And then after 18 months or, hopefully no more than 24 months, then you could have a day to day manager in place. One that's had E2 visa investors, I know at least one from Mexico in South Florida, is clothing resale. So most of the investment goes into the inventory. So this one is a closet trading company, franchise that's been around for 22 years, based out of Southern California. So that type of business could make sense for you to explore. And they give pretty detailed financials in terms of the different locations that they have in terms of sales, operating profit, EBITDA, total expenses. So they're pretty transparent, and we could help you verify that information with conversations with franchisees to see how they've scaled up. So that would be an example business. And another couple ones in the children retail space and the retail space is Uptown Cheapskate. So reselling clothes, the trading closet, more like accessories, high end bags, where this is all different types of high end clothing. and it's a bit of a bigger franchise system and a higher investment amount, more like 350 to 500 590K.
The 350 is like the starting amount, like, or is it the investment which is going to be between something, or this is
That would be the initial capital that you have to invest to get the business open.
how much the royalty they ask for, or like for the marketing and
So for this business, you have ongoing royalties of 5%, and you have an initial franchise fee of 25K.
okay. How much do they like make for like for monthly roughly?
Well, I have the medians for annual, and the median is 1.79 mil. And you have all the expenses broken down, and the net income is 386,000. So it's pretty good, for an investment of 350 to 600K, that you're able to scale up to have that net income.
My dad was actually interested in buying a franchise or like a business which is somehow like related to his field. For example, like the dental equipment or something like that. Like
It's like like one of the worst franchises ever was a dental equipment repair franchise. So I don't know of any good ones. There's different healthcare related ones that we could look at, but I'm not aware of any legitimate ones on the specific dental side. We can do a search for you, but I'm not aware of any ones at this moment.
yeah, if we buy a franchise, for example, like I when I saw your list, like when you sent it to me, you
Sure.
mentioned it after the call, but I was like super excited. I was just gonna do that like, as soon as possible because I'm done with Canada, to be very honest.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. It's our biggest market for clients.
Yeah, I'm like done. I'm just done. Like just I'm like just that. Please file my E2 as soon as possible. I just can't wait. I'm done over here, like struggling with all the expenses and stuff. So I did a research about the salon. So I was thinking if I go for something like a retail store or a grocery store or anything like that, or like for or like a franchise, I have never worked on it. And if you go for the food industry, in the food industry, it takes a lot of time. You have to be there all the time, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend food.
So I just have one question. So if
Sure.
I franchise, for example, is it like I have to maintain their policies and everything there, or I could add my name or add my services?
It's going to depend on the franchise, but generally you're going to be selling the products that they have and you're buying into their system. So if you want to do stuff a lot different, then it's better just to do your own independent business.
But do you have any good options like for the franchises? Because I know like this is like the problem or like the thing that you have to see whether you should go for the own business or the
We have
franchise.
tons of options. I mean, tutoring club, I've had 10 clients invest in this concept. It provides after school tutoring services for kids. It's about 100K investment. Flawless track record for E2 visa investors. You could work, as little as 15 hours a month, or sorry, 15 hours a week in the beginning. So I mean, we've been doing this for nearly 10 years. We started the company in 2015. So we have a lot of options available for you. Wolfgang Bakery, a concept that the CEO and the management team's based in Miami as well. I don't know if you're into pets, but it's a great concept. Very very good profit margin and investments 200 300K to get open and operating. We've had a few E2 visa clients with them, so we have a ton of options. And
I see a lot of franchises that were in the listing about the plumbing and then home renovation and stuff like that, like the labor one. How does that franchise work? I have never seen. I don't know about that. Can you give me some idea of that?
yeah, I mean, you have all different types of like commercial cleaning. I had a client recently invest in Stratus Building Solutions. So that you would basically be supporting on the sales as well as hiring the cleaners to provide the service. I've had a few Canadian clients invest in the maids.
So, for example, I searched the maids. I think it's a big company in the US.
Yeah.
Does they do that all the time? You're just investing, or you have
No, you got to run it. All these, like, you got to be operating. No one's looking just for like, very few franchises want your capital. They want you to be managing a team that's providing their service in the local market.
for example, if we are buying a molly maid, we are the one who have to look for the cleaners and stuff like that. And
Yes, they can provide support, but it falls on you as the franchisee. Any franchise, you're going to have to hire, fire, and train, as well as deal with customer relations. Some franchisors will do the marketing, they might do the sales for you, product development, but generally you're always going to have to manage the team as well as deal with the customers.
Like, just in an opinion, what do you prefer, having a franchise or just like a non-franchise business? Like, what do you prefer? Which one is easier?
It's easier doing a franchise unless you're already in the US. If you guys are already selling in the US, like I just did an interview with an E2 visa client and he had already been doing a bunch of business in the US. So it made sense. Like he knew what he was getting into, and he moved his family to the U.S. to continue that business. If you don't know what you want to do, like it could be good to have an anchor franchise, and then you start your father's business, slowly. And as that picks up, you can always have a day-to-day manager in place. And in the E2 visa business plan, we'll work with his team to build in where okay the franchise is going to serve as the anchor, but that there's going to be you're going to have some optionality and that you're eventually going to be doing some other entrepreneurial ventures.
Can you just look for a businesses that is related to my dad's field? Because if we see in a long term, when we're gonna start our business there, it will be a better if you could just collaborate or we can work back and forth on it. Maybe in this way we will learn and we can explore the market. So if you can find any franchise that is related to dental equipment or something like that, I mean that would be a great idea.
Okay, how much could you go up, you think, if it was more on the dental side and healthcare side?
I mean it depends, something in 300, 400.
Yeah.
Well, it depends, like what does the companies do, what does the franchises do, and stuff like that. We have to see the options, and then I can discuss with my dad.
Okay.
Just one more question. Do you
Sure.
have one of my friend is also interested in doing the E2? Do you
Okay.
have franchises that are like she has like a very limited budget, like about like 100,000 or like 150? Do you know any groceries or something that she could invest on? Like, does the grocery stores or convenience store have like the franchise thing?
They do. They don't make much money though. It was like your parents or grandparents generation that was doing like grocery and convenience stores because they didn't speak English that well. They weren't professional, so it's kind of taking a big step back.
Be honest with you, in Pakistan, we are more like we're just getting this business to get the E2 visa and have the freedom of doing the work. Initially, we just want to start our own business and do the thing. It's just like they buy.
You can become a slave of some small convenience store, and then you won't be able to renew it because it doesn't make much money and you don't have many employees. So I would highly recommend doing like something else, like a more serious service type business. And there's tons of service businesses for 80, 100K.
This is not how like if you buy and then you don't make into it, you can't just switch the E2 visa to another business opportunity.
No, unless it's like pretty well dictated in the business plan. Like we have to like basically lay out what type of businesses you might be investing and operating in. We get approached by people that have like a random convenience store, and those stores like they pay their employees in cash. It's just like a bad E2 business because it's not legitimate. They don't pay taxes. They pay their employees in cash. They don't employ many people, so it's not E2, it's not a great E2 visa business, and generally there's not enough margin for a day-to-day manager. Or if you have a day-to-day manager in place, you get like no money, so that you can't renew the E2 visa.
Just one last more question. Sorry.
Sure.
For example, if you have like have a limited amount that you're investing, and then if you're interested in a business which is like their asking price is higher, for example, if the asking price is like 200 and you have 100, can we get a mortgage on that business from the US and then
No. If you have a property in the US, you can take out a loan against it, but you can't take a loan against the business.
thank you so much, Patrick.
Oh, for sure.
I'll email you about the services thing, and then maybe you can start looking for the medical or like the any
I
franchise.
have clients. I mean, one of my favorite ones, and I get asked all the time, Patrick, what would you do if you invested in a franchise? And I would probably open up like a caregiving franchise helping seniors. So I've had numerous clients invest in home watch caregivers, and there's a few other top ones in the space. But for an investment of 90 to 150K, they do very very good margins, and they do pretty well. So I would look at that. There's quite a few options that we could be reviewing.
Caregiver.
Yeah,
Okay, makes sense.
assisting hands, home care. I've had quite a few clients invest with them. Right at home, senior helpers. So like senior helpers, let's see, 1.2 mil in revenue. This isn't the earnings that they disclose, but we basically apply for our sister company website an industry margin on based on that. You usually see like 15 to 25% for a caregiving franchise, and it's a business that you can really scale up. So that could be something to explore for you or your friend. The only thing is it takes like 6 months plus to get the license in Florida. Florida's a tough state for getting the securing the license. Any other questions before we finish off?
I was asking how much they're asking for, like the caregiver one that you were
They
mentioning.
start at 80,000 American. For someone that's like well educated, driven, I'd much rather they do something like that than like a grocery store.
Yeah.
That will sell for a lot. If you're making like over a million, that business should be able to sell for 700K plus. So if you only invested 100K, go on. Sorry.
So if they buy a caregiver company, what are the jobs? Like, what are they gonna do? Like,
You're basically recruiting caregivers, training them, and then on the other side of the marketplace, you're securing seniors to deploy your caregivers, and then you get like a margin. Say it's 50%, 40% that you keep, and then you give the rest of the caregivers, and you have your administrative expenses. It's a great business, and especially in Florida, it's a good place to be in.
these companies are like the franchises. So, do they help you looking for the people, like the?
Yes, they do. Yeah. I mean, it's almost every month we have a client invest in one and get an E-2 visa. We've had clients invest in, I think, 6 or 7 of the different franchise brands out of maybe like 30 plus franchise brands in the space. And they often have different value adds where some help more on securing the seniors through contracts that they have with hospital chains or relationships with physicians, for example. And then other ones are really savvy on, securing the caregivers and talent, and even working to have visa sponsorship, so bringing some of the caregivers over from abroad. So there are different pros and cons of the different franchise groups that our clients have invested in.
Yeah. So I'm gonna see, and then I will get back to you. Okay.
All right, perfect.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate it. Take care.